So, shall I start? Right. Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Bengal Club Kolkata, I welcome you all to today's virtual evening program. We have today with us Mr. Ankit Agarwal, the founder CEO of PHOOL. PHOOL is a private flower cycling company which aims to reduce pollution in River Ganges. The process employs women who had been manual scavengers, and after working with Mr. Agarwal and his associates, have been able to look up to life and lead a much more respectable life. Because of this pioneering entrepreneurship, Mr. Agarwal has got many awards and accolades. Just to name a few, he has been named a Queen's Young Leader in 2017. He has been selected amongst the 21 young leaders by Asia Society. He received the prestigious award from United Nations Young Leader for Sustainable Development and has also got the GSG Millennial Honor. Before I invite Mr. Agarwal to begin his talk, there are two things I would like to mention. Please mute yourselves as long as the talk is in progress, and please type your questions in the chat box as short and precise as possible, which will be read out after the talk is over. Thank you. Mr. Agarwal, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Chaitali ma'am. And so first of all, the respectful members of the Bengal Club and the chair, I would extend my thankful gratitude for welcoming me for this session. I know it's a Friday evening. I won't keep it long. I'll try and keep it very short and open it like a open book session where you can ask whatever you feel like. I'll quickly share my screen. So, perfect. So every year, more than 500 million Hindus, we go to temples to worship, and we offer nature in its purest form, that is flowers, to our gods. But hardly does anyone think what happens to these flowers afterwards. Sadly, every year we Indians put in about 8 million tons of waste flowers in the rivers, like the River Ganges. Flowers that are loaded with pesticides and insecticides, flowers that rot, flowers that create a havoc in the fragile ecosystem of the body, causing irreversible damage. Researchers have linked this to hepatitis, cholera, severe dysentery, which are the leading causes of child mortality across India and Bangladesh, affecting lives of more than 420 million people. The sheer volume of these flowers is overriding the biophysical stability of the river water, but still no one even thinks about it. I knew nothing about all of this in 2016. I have a Czech friend, his name is Jakub. He had come down to India. So I had taken him to my hometown, which happens to be Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. And there are not many places that I can take someone in my hometown to visit. So I took Jakub to the ghats of the River Ganges. Luckily or unluckily, that date was Makar Sankranti, which is this Indian festival that marks the ending of winters. So farmers in northern India take a dip in the river to thank the Surya, like the sun god, for a good harvest. So what happened was, Kuba and I sat there for about an hour, and the water was so dirty and so slimy that we didn't even want to touch it. But then what we saw was around 147 people came, including children, women, and they started taking a dip in the water. And not only taking a dip, a person who had started selling plastic containers nearby, and they were buying those plastic containers, filling that with water and taking it away. Kuba started questioning me, why are they even doing this? Are they not scared? They'll get disease. And so I explained, so this is River Ganges, this is our goddess, nothing happens. It has self-purifying capabilities, this, that. And no matter what I said, I couldn't win that argument. He asked me, why is this so dirty? So the reasons were innumerous. There is fecal sludge, refuse from tanneries, open drains that go into the river. And after like a long conversation, he said that, why don't you do something about it? I was like, boss, this is the Ganga. How can any, like, what can I do about this? Like, even like at that point in time, the Modi government was coming, I said, no one is able to do anything. How, like, even if I want to do something, how can I even like begin? And the moment I said this, a nearby temple dumped in a temper full of flowers in the water. What happened was all the chemicals that were there in the flowers, they formed a layer or surface on the water, on the surface of the water, and light starting refracting through it. And I was like, I was amazed. I have seen my parents, my grandparents, everyone put flowers and religious based in the water. No one has ever questioned this practice before. So some months later, I decided to quit my job and take this solving this problem as a full-time challenge. I didn't have money then. So what I did was I left my job. I invested the 72,000 rupees I had and started this company. Now I didn't have money, no business connection, nothing. So there are business plan competitions in the country that happen where you go and pitch your idea, and if they like it, they give you money. So I'm happy to share that the first business plan that I presented was at IM Calcutta, which was the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge. And we won that. We got 2.5 lakh rupees that I invested in the business. So that slowly and slowly, I started going to temples and collecting their waste. Now I wanted to validate whether the problem is real or it's just in my head. Who are the different stakeholders in the journey of a flower? Where do they come from? What is the volume? What are the solutions? And a year later, I started making the first product and selling in the market. So we were able to make charcoal-free incense. So normally incense that are available in the country are made from charcoal. So what I did was replace the charcoal from incense. And so these were world's first charcoal-free incense, which do not have any perfume in them or any potassium nitrate or something. Instead, these are made from real flowers and dipped in essential oils. And so very scientifically done. IIT Kanpur is one of our stakeholders. So we've done our like research very well. There is no zero sulfur content in it. In our incense sticks, there's no charcoal in the incense. And so happy to share that today we sell a pack of incense every minute. What we've done is we've also moved a step ahead. Let me show you this. Yeah. So on the right side, what you're seeing is styrofoam. Styrofoam, or as we normally call it, thermocol. So many people don't know, but styrofoam is the world's 5th biggest pollutant. And as of now, mankind does not know a way to recycle thermocol. You have to either burn it or put it into the ground where it stays for more than 1200 years. On the left side, what you're seeing is the same fan mold, which is made from a material that we have invented, which we're calling it as fluorofoam. This material behaves exactly like styrofoam, has all the properties like normal styrofoam. The best part, this material is biodegradable in 45 days as soon as it comes in soil contact with soil bacteria. Let me show you quickly one video. 1 second. Is my screen visible? Yeah.
No, no, you have to reshare it, please.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. So on the left side is thermocol, on the right side is the material that we made. This video is 2 years old. Now the material is completely white. So this is a property that we have over and above styrofoam, that our material does not burn because it has natural silica in it. So also we've been able to make the material very lightweight. One second. Let me quickly share a second video. So currently what we've done is we've raised around $1 million. We have invested all the money into like setting up the world's first R&D dedicated to temple flowers. Let me quickly walk you through the process. So currently we are situated in 2 cities in Uttar Pradesh, and we have started our operations in Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. Our vehicles every day go to collect temple waste. These are then brought to our factory, where all the pattar, paper, thread, milk packets, everything are weeded out. Then we have our own bioculum that is sprayed on these flowers to offset any pesticide residue that they might have. Then these flowers are cleaned and sun dried. Then, depending upon their carotenoid level and species, these flowers are either converted into incense. Earlier, we used to like compost the green part. Now we are converting it into flora now, so my city, Kanpur, is famous for its leather. So each time I look at this picture, I'm sorry, but each time I look at this picture, right, my stomach churns. So think of leather for a minute. These animals were killed for the leather and the meat. And if you think of the livestock industry, this industry consumes about 30% of the Earth's fresh water supply. About 27% of Earth's green landmass has gone to this industry. And in return, this industry gives the largest methane emissions on Earth, which is 24%. But we humans love leather. Leather is not going anywhere. It delivers status, luxury, comfort, and we love leather, humans. So what we have done is we've discovered a way to convert temple waste into a material which behaves exactly like leather. We are calling it fleather, floral leather. And we've got 5 patents on it. We're now working with two international luxury brands to develop a range of bags for them. So let me quickly tell you about this material as well. So for example, if you want a big hide, a normal cow or a calf or a buffalo takes around 3 years to grow to that full size. We do it, we can grow the same size in a lab in 3 weeks. Happy to share, this is the same ghat that I had taken Cuba like 4-5 years back. We ensured that not a single flowers goes into the water today. And so let me tell you something about what's close to my heart and why I do this. So in India, there are about 1.7 million manual scavengers. So manual scavengers are people who jump neck deep into clogged sewers and scrape human feces with dry toilets, keep it upon their heads and walk kilometers to dispose it off. And it's a very big taboo. No one even wants to talk about it. I agree, we as a society, we've become very modern, everything, but still I have rarely found a household where someone will invite their toilet cleaners to have a meal with them on the dining table. It's very unusual. So what we do is we train and employ women who are manual scavengers to make incense and sort flowers. So this gives them not only a life of dignity and respect, because what happens is when someone knows that you are helping clean the Ganges, your feeling towards that person changes. So this is also about perspective change. I would just want to talk about Prema. So Prema had been working with us for about 6 months, and one day she started distributing sweets in the factory. And I said that, why are you distributing sweets? We are like 50, 60 people. Why are you wasting money? And then she said, no, I bought a refrigerator. I'm very happy. I will distribute sweets. So I said, see, you've already bought a refrigerator, put some money there. Why? So she said, when I was 19 years old, the place where I used to clean the toilets, I wanted to have water. The owner said that we won't give you water from our refrigerator. That day, she had decided at some point in time in her life, she wanted to buy a refrigerator. After working with us for 6 months, she was able to save enough money to be able to buy that refrigerator. And she said, not only this, yesterday, the children of my so-called upper class neighbors, they came and had water from my refrigerator. So now my children are equal to their children and I can die peacefully. So my work is not just about cleaning waste on the land, but it is also about cleaning ourselves. So thank you. I'm Ankit. I've kept this talk very short purposefully because it's a Friday evening. I don't want to bore you. So let's open up any questions that you have. Happy to answer anything you want.
Thanks very much, Ankit. I don't see anything in the chat box, so I think we'll be a little flexible on this, if it's all right with you.
Yes. Yes.
I'll kick off a couple of questions that occur to me. And
Sure.
what we could do is, with the help of our very efficient Gurudas, if there's a hand popping up or a finger popping up and somebody wants to chip in with a comment or a question, Gurudas can unmute the person. Is that all right,
Sure.
Gurudas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ankit, a short question. You
Yes, sir.
took your friend to the Ghat in Kanpur. And obviously, the starting point in all this was the dumping of flowers, which suddenly happened, other than the fact that he kept pestering you as to why this particular Ghat was so dirty. Was there a model somewhere tucked in, or which you were aware of in treatment of flowers that sort of gave you the kickstart?
No, so generally what I studied, like before like starting this full-fledged, I studied all the different possibilities that were there. So generally what was happening was temples were trying to make these, convert these flowers into compost. But since that was not their core functionalities, most of the machines were like just lying idle. No one, like for a month or two, there was a lot of rigor and everyone wanted to try. But after that, these machines were lying idle. There were some professors. There was a professor in Calcutta who had tried to make colors from flowers. Then there were some people who were trying to do dyeing, but no one was specifically focusing on temple flowers per se. So, and what generally when it comes to religion and this thing, no, so people don't want to start a business. They want to open up an NGO because that's a safer route. So, and what I felt was like, if I go the NGO route, then things won't change. I would be on mercy of someone to give me some money. And I wanted my community to be like really empowered in the sense that we can take our own control and we can be responsible for our own lives. And for that, it was crucial that we have a business which in the future becomes self-sustainable. So even if you remove me out of the equation, the business keeps on running. So that was the thought process.
Thanks very much. I see a comment and a quick question from Dr. Julie Mehta, one of our members and a member of our library committee. And it says, obviously, she's quite enthused with whatever you've done in creating up waterways, floriform, the trailblazing paths that you have probably forged on sustainable development. Where do you go to from here? What's the big plan?
Yeah, okay. So last year we did currently we sell a pack of incense every minute. So last year we did a revenue of around $1 million. Now this year we're targeting at least 300 millions in revenue and reaching the number of women that we employ to 250. The agenda, the mission that the inner mission that we have set is, see, change will not happen in this generation. Change will actually happen in the generation of the women we employ when they are able to send their kids to school. So, and what we've generally seen is about, if we employ around 100 women, about 40% of them are able to like send their kids to school. So that is what we're aiming at. And now what we've also done is currently we are in Kanpur. We just started at Tirupati. We are trying to get 3 more locations. I'm currently sitting in Varanasi. So once we get these 3 locations, we are doing around 15 tons of flour per day. We want to take it up till 50 tons per day. Then we want to set up a macro entrepreneurship model where people like whoever is interested can replicate this model in their part of the country. So that is what we are aiming at.
That's good. Great news. Great news of
Quite
scaling
a
up.
few questions in the chat box. Let me read a few to you.
Yes, please.
One is from Shurela Chakrabarti. The question is, what is the collection process like?
Okay. So, so collection process is different for different cities. Look, for example, in Kanpur, there are 2 very famous big temples where we collect flowers twice a day in the morning and evening. Then, like, for example, different gods have different days. Mondays for a Shivji, Tuesdays for a Hanumanji, Wednesdays for Sai Baba. So depending upon which day of the week it is, we have our own mechanism to collect flowers. Bigger temples, we try to like collect twice a day. Smaller ones, we collect a single time in 2 days. So depending upon different days. So we have our own vehicles that go and collect these flowers and bring it to our facility.
A quick question from Pradeep Kakkar.
Yes.
Does Florafoam have a use before expiry date?
So no. So Florafoam, the thing is, the moment it comes, it is completely submerged in soil bacteria, like 360 degrees, it starts to biodegrade. So if it is not in contact with soil bacteria, it is like good to go. Like the shelf testing that we have done is for about 2.5 years, but that is in lab environment. So in countries abroad, we have like made protective packaging for their electric appliances. It's been more than 3 years now, so we have not faced any problem yet.
Another question here from Dr. Julie Mehta.
Yes.
She says, Mr. Agarwal, the possibilities you have created in cleaning up waterways, Florafoam, Feather, and trailblazing paths to sustainable development for the underprivileged is humbling. Congratulations. Where do you go from here?
Thank you, ma'am. So I just answered that question. So basically what we're now doing is, so we are trying to expand into different geographies. We are also raising a Series A round, which will be $3 million. So then that will give us more power to like do R&D and like get like the materials that we have developed, get them to the general public per se.
Dhruv Khaitan has an interesting question for you, Ankit.
Yes.
As far as these manual scavengers are concerned, is there any particular skill set that you have worked on, and is it required? Is it a requirement for the kind of action that you're doing?
So the manual scavenger thing, first of all, let me tell you how that happened. So when like 2016, when I was trying, right, like to start this, I used to like take 20 kgs of flour, put it on my bike and like take it to this outskirts of the city in a village where I used to work. And like no labor was ready to work with me. Like I used to hire men like day laborers, they would come, next day they wouldn't come, run away half a day and things like those. And like this continued, like I didn't have any experience. This continued for like 2-3 months. Then there were these 2 amma which started coming and they were like always on time, no, nothing. Like I would tell them, please do this. They'll very obediently do everything that they were told. And I was like, scene guy, what is the catch? So, and after a week, I asked them, like, what is it? So they said, you come tomorrow is a Sunday, you come early in the morning, 5 o'clock, I'll show you. So I said, okay. So I went there to this place at 5 a.m. in the morning. Then they showed me that what they used to do. They used to like pick up excreta from dry toilets and throw it. So I said, so they said, we come to you for 2 reasons. One is we don't have to go to 10 different places. We have to go to only one place. Second is, you give us money on the evening that day itself. These people give us only leftover food and don't pay us well. So that was somehow change something that, and I felt that if I can like change a community, why not? And when I started working, see, there are a lot of issues while you're working with people in this community. Reason being, they don't know they've never a single alphabet. nothing, no 1, 2, 3, no ABCD, no Kakhaga, nothing. So what we've done is we've codified our processes using colors, using things that they can remember. Like for example, some processes like this is an apple, so this is a kela, you do this, you do this, like so. And what we've now slowly developed is that the women take their own decision. For example, we only tell them these are the things that have to be like, for example, this is the output that we need for tomorrow. So they have their own meeting, they select their own leader, every week the leader changes, and then they themselves distribute the task and everything. So now that is the kind of systems that we've developed. And it is not just only about manual scavengers, it's first come, first serve. Anyone who comes, anyone who is willing to work, we have a register, we note down their name, and whenever there's an opening, we simply give them a call. And happy to share that we even have Brahmins working with us. And my women are like, all the aunties are very happy that there's a Brahmin working. So like that's their like dope. Yeah.
I'll bunch two questions now, Ankit, for you.
Sure. Yes.
One is, what kind of qualities do you see making a good entrepreneur, drawing from your experience? And the second one is that now that you're obviously intending to sell incense stakes, the question is on marketing. I mean, what are the various steps that you're taking to scale up your marketing efforts?
Okay. So the first question, see, entrepreneurship, I would say there are only two things. One is that the person, whoever he or she is, should have a habit to read. That I find missing in the generation today. That's one. Second is you have to be at it. You have to be patient. There will be times when nothing will work out for months, for days. You have to be at it. So these two things, then everything will fall in place, I feel. That's one. Second is marketing. So what I felt in terms of our incense, we only sell our incense online. That is the D2C method. And we spend money on digital marketing through Instagram and Facebook. And happy to share that today, in terms of online sales, we are the highest selling incense in the country. And we have just got the fair trade certification and the eco cert. It's not public yet, but we are the world's first incense which is fair trade and eco cert certified. Eco cert and fair trade means that every step, every person involved in the process of making the incense has been paid well. Everything is transparent in terms of all the ingredients that have been used, where the product has been made and everything. So that's second. So, and now the plan is that next year we want to enter into the retail through big retailers like Big Basket and others. So that is what the plan is.
This question comes from Aparna Kastugir.
Yes.
Any obstacles that you faced so far? Any political impediments? And I'll add another dimension. Temple authorities, have they been generally cooperative?
See, I wouldn't start on that topic, but yeah, so I'll tell you. So there have been times where chief ministers of states have done inaugurations on my name and stuff like that, but nothing materializes on ground. So that's one. And second is with temples, I have a trick which I devised way back earlier. So there's this line in the Aarti, Tera Tujhko Arpan. So each time I say, whenever there's this Pandit and creating a ruckus, I tell them, see, this is, ये भगवान के फूल है, भगवान को वापस जा रहे हैं. आप और मैं कौन होते हैं इसको रोकने के लिए? भगवान की मर्जी. So after Bhagwan ki marzi, so no one can question the Bhagwan ki marzi.
It's an interesting.
There is a question from Pradeep Kakkar, Monojit. There is a question from Pradeep Kakkar.
I did ask that.
And from Julie D, if Ankit ji would be interested in visiting colleges to enthuse and educate potential entrepreneurs, I would sort of ask the same question.
Yes, so I do talks very often, like most of the colleges, I do talks almost a week, one talk every week. That is basically focused on how to start a D2C business and scale it up and things like that.
Good.
Where can we find these products? Where can we buy
So
them?
yeah, it's
How do
online.
you extend your footprint?
Yeah, so it's
Online.
www.phool.co. Yeah, simple. You can order them, you'll get them products delivered. So now actually, I'll tell you. So in Calcutta, what happens? No, there are big weddings. In Calcutta is one of the biggest market. Like, so what happened was we did Rajnikant's daughter's wedding. Like we collected all the flowers in their in Saundarya's wedding and converted into incense, and that Rajnikant gave as a gift to the people who had come. So some people got to know about this in Calcutta, and Calcutta is the hottest market. Like the wedding season, like we get so many clients from Calcutta. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very
Yes,
interesting.
very interesting. Very interesting. Yes.
Do I see any hands from anybody? Any? Yeah, Julie again.
Yes.
Would you like to answer ask the question yourself?
Ma'am, you're not audible.
You need to
Mute.
Gurudash, mute.
Tell us a little about yourself. Where did you grow up?
So I was born and brought up in Kanpur. Then I've lived in Pune for about 9 years. I have had a couple of international stints as well. I was basically by education, I'm a computer engineer. I've worked with Semantic Corporation, where I was an automation scientist. I've got a patent. I've got a couple of research papers published. Quite boring. Otherwise, yeah. So yeah, that's it. Pretty workaholic, yeah.
So, Monajit, if I might just follow that question up.
Sure.
You know, there are a lot of young people who are very interested in sustainable development and ecology and matters which would improve the general scene around us. And this is absolutely fascinating. And as you yourself mentioned, there is, there is a sort of a consciousness about what to do with these flowers. So several people are making fabrics, as you know, from the flower waste. So would you, Ankit, would you educate us just a little bit, since we have the time and so many of us are so inclined to listen to you, about what are the other methods in which these waste flowers might be used?
Yes, sure. So one of the easiest method that you can like practice at your home is like simply compose these flowers. So for example, if you have a full on vermicomposting setup at your home, then you can like put the flowers in that bin. Second is you can just keep these flowers in your flower pots or something, and slowly these will decay. That is the simplest. During the holy time, you can specifically collect these flowers and make them into gulal, which is your organic gulal. And like last year, I did a workshop for about 500 kids who had then started collecting flowers from January onwards, and then they started making it, and then they had small shops in their own societies to sell those flowers. So that is second. And the third method would be if there is some, like if you can like convert these, like make dyes from these flowers, but that is a little longer drawn process. So these three are the easier things that can be done at your home.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So a very, very engaging conversation. Any more questions?
I don't think so. I don't see any.
Shalini Ghosh is sending a message, an inspiration for young entrepreneurs. Really interesting.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if there are no other questions, it's time for me to please call upon Sri Monojit Dasgupta to deliver the vote of thanks. It's been a very, very encouraging evening.
Thanks very much, Choitaledi. Scarcely did we imagine that our lives would be disrupted in the way it has been for the past 1 year and more. The challenges that have come our way have evidently led to a renewed and a lot more intense focus on environment and habitat. And Bengal Club's this evening's engagement has been one of introspection of seeing something staring at our face, but being missed. Ankit's presentation makes a persuasive case for seeing our gestures of benediction and greetings find a worthwhile resolution. Ankit Agarwal, thank you ever so much for this stimulating evening, sharing PHOOL's journey from a simple idea to community action. It's a story that's truly has been said with flowers. Thanks to our audience for having made time to be with us and engaged Ankit on the questions that have agitated them. On behalf of the Bengal Club Library Committee, our warm thanks to you again, Ankit. May your sail catch a strong wind to power you ahead. All the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a great evening ahead, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much, Ankit. Take care. Goodbye, all. Stay safe. Stay well.